Hello everybody, this is Kysen here and welcome to another episode here on my KysenKraft server. Now today we're going to start off here at /spawn because some things have been done. As you can see from the my last episode, I did include the spawn on the world tour and not a lot was going on here, but now we have all kinds of things. So you know what, actually let's go into game mode C again to do this. We can have a little fly around then and do this a bit quicker and get some better views. So we've got this awesome podium looking thing here in the middle, built out of quartz, which, to be honest, quartz is probably one of my favourite building materials because I really like the way it's kind of like the whitest structure you can get in Minecraft, and I think that makes it look really unique and make it stand out. And that podium kind of goes over the top of our nether portal here as well, a bit of a decoration there, which is looking pretty cool. Off this way is adventure, and I think that's a great view, isn't it, with the archway there with quartz, looking onto a village and someone's planted some reeds down here, and that's the adventure with this pathway going off here like this. And then down here we have some farms, so it's great for new people if you just joined the server. You can come down here and get your starting resources, so that's cool, and I think there's going to be animals added to this later. I know we've got some animal pits, I think, yeah, here we go, over here. So we've got some cows here, and that'll be coming soon. There's going to be a cow farm here. Looks like Haley's going to do that. Now this was done by N-Dash, the spawn area. So a bit of a shout out to him because this is looking pretty awesome to say the least. And yeah, I think this is a great sort of way of doing spawn as well, because on the last one we had an island, but now we've got this here, and I think the potential for the future is pretty cool. So just wanted to show you guys that, and then down here we've got like a mining area as well. So that goes down into like strip mines, and this I haven't actually seen myself yet, but it looks like there's something going to be going on here. So yeah, as always, I will keep you updated on anything that happens on the server, and that was the reason for starting the episode here. But anyway, if we go back to /tspawn this time, we can see how the town is coming along. So a little overview of this town as well. Now there's been a couple of things that have been built since last time. This tree here and this bridge. Now this wasn't done by me, this was Agent 122 who did this. He's one of our town residents. And yeah, so we got like this dead looking tree here, which I think looks really cool actually, doesn't it? You know, it sort of like fits in really well with the desert theme, and yeah, I like that quite a lot. And then down here, this I think has been dug out. Yeah, right. Like I'm trying to figure out where exactly it was done from, but I think from somewhere around here. And I haven't been online at the same time as Agent yet, but it looks like we've got like a bit of a dam here almost, and then like the dried out river thing that I spoke to you guys about before. That's kind of what it looks like going on here. And then there's a bridge going over here like this that's sort of like, you know, in my mind it's like it used to go over the river, you know. And then again another sort of dam thing on this side. So great work from Agent there on the town. I think it's looking really cool. I like this bridge kind of idea because of its simplicity. I think for a town like this that's like a desert town, you do want to keep these kinds of structures quite simple, not too elaborate, because you know the elaborate stuff will be in the middle of the town, but as you go off to do other things, I think that's a good way of doing it. So yeah, things are coming along pretty quickly. The guys on the server, they always do things at quite a pace. So yeah, I think that's you guys all caught up now. So the next thing to do is what I wanted to do today, and I'll go back into game mode S to do that. And that was, I wanted to talk about this town spawn area. So if I get my chunk borders up again, you'll see I've marked off the chunk here, and this is the chunk that I'm going to have as the town spawn area. Now, I've spoke before about the things that we look to do on here, and you'll see here I'm just going to start mining some stuff out, and then I'll talk about that in a second. And you can tell by the speed I'm doing this, I've got a pretty good pickaxe. I've got a efficiency 5, I'm breaking 3 now. So I went off and got loads of quartz. You'll see that I've got quartz there in my hotbar, and that's because I think I want to do some building out of quartz. I said just a moment ago how much I like that, didn't I? And I think it's going to fit well with the mesa as well, because that white with all the colours around it that the mesa provides, I think will look good. So I want to take this top layer off, because I've got some ideas for spawn. I want to kind of texture it a bit. I want to use obviously quartz, but then also some colours. So I'm thinking some like terracotta, maybe some patterns, terracotta stuff going on. Probably look to include some sort of water element to it, but nothing too elaborate with the water because it is a desert town after all. So those are kind of the lines that I'm thinking I've got along. So the idea of this episode is to get that spawn area built, the sort of town centre area built, and then from there in subsequent episodes we can kind of build off from there and get all kinds of things going on around that. But I think it's good to have like a centre point first to build out from, and so that's what we're going to do today. So what I'm going to do now is just mine out a bit of this area here and start building the spawn area, and I'll start throwing down some blocks that I think look good, and then we'll do some little updates along the way and see how that all starts to look. So I'm going to go and do all the boring stuff, and I'll catch up with you once all that's done. Alright everybody, as you can see I am now back, and I have done a bit of work on the spawn area, so it felt like a good time to do a bit of an update. So obviously at the moment it's just quartz that's going on here. We've got some blocks around the outside, then a couple of stairs and some blocks around the inside, and I've also marked out the center point here. This is just a marker. I want to build something up here and have that as like a focal point, because to me it looks like a bit of a theatre type of setting where you've got seats there all the way around, so that the staircase kind of doubles as places where people could sit down. And you know, just kind of like a meeting point, a focal point, that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm quite happy with how this looks. I think the white looks really good, and in with the colours of the background in the mesa. And now the thing I want to do, as you can see I've got some of this glazed terracotta on me, is I want to try out some things with that. So let's put myself back into game mode survival. Just wanted to be creative there to show you guys how this was starting to take shape. So I'm thinking round here this would look good if we did like a ring of red. Now I haven't got enough to do that ring at the moment, but basically I've just got enough to sort of test it out and see what it looks like. So let's put say 5 there, and trying to see how this is going to look. Let's just put them all in, I guess, for now. Doesn't really take that much to get them back out. And then if we come up here, let's have a look. You know what? Yeah, I actually quite like that. I think the red and the white, it's quite a difference, it's quite a contrast there, but I actually think that looks quite good. And we did want to go for a very colourful kind of town centre area, and I want that to be sort of on this plot here, but also on all the plots that I build around this kind of circle area around this centre plot. I want to have a lot of colour included in those as well. So what I was thinking is I'll do like a layer like this of red, and then the inside layer that's going to be directly around whatever we put here, like if we put a statue or something, that could be yellow. So let's try that out, see how that's looking. And you know what, I just remembered I need to be more careful how I place these, because at the moment they're not going to be all in order, are they? But anyway, yeah, the patterns look kind of weird at the moment, but I think the red and the yellow looks pretty good together. And then maybe let's just test out some water here as well and see how that's looking. Something like that going on in the middle, I think, could look pretty cool. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish this off now. So I'm going to do all the red, I'm going to do some water, and I'll try and do something in the middle. You guys have got a good idea now of how it's starting to take shape, and you've kind of seen the progress along the way. So I think the next thing now is just to kind of get it almost finished, and then we'll see how that looks together. So I'm going to go and do all the boring stuff again, and I'll be back in just a sec. Well guys, once more I am back, as you can see, and it's pretty much looking done now. So the things I did off camera was I finished off the ring of red, the ring of yellow, and all of these terracotta now face in the same direction, so that's looking good. The pattern kind of makes sense and follows the whole way through. We've got a bit of like a podium statue thing going on in the middle here. It's quite simple, but I kind of like that about it. And to me it looks like a bit of almost like a fancy kind of well, and I thought for a town that's like a desert town, the focal point in the town centre to be a well, that kind of makes sense, because, you know, water would be scarce in this kind of area and that kind of thing. So, I don't know, to me it made sense logically, and it looks pretty good as well. So, yeah, that's how it looks. And from ground level, this is what it's looking like. And I'm quite a big fan of it. I think it looks great. But I did want to try something on camera with you guys so that you can see that. So I put myself back in survival so we can look at this together. And that was to include a bit of extra colour. And I think the way to do this, let's have a look here, is if we go like this. Some purple I think would be a good colour, and put these kind of, I don't know what you really call them, I guess they're kind of like stair separators, I don't really know, but basically they're just kind of going to go up like this on the 4 corners. So again, we'll go there, and put them up here like this. I really like the purple colour actually. I think that purple terracotta colour looks really nice. But yeah, what do you think, guys? I thought what I'd do is I'd show you it before I did this, and then we'll do it together now like this on camera. And that way, if you guys prefer it without, then I can always revert back. But at least this way you get to see the 2 different types of design. So yeah, I actually think this is looking good, and it does add a bit of extra colour to this area as well, which we are trying to go for. Lots of colour in this this whole town and this build in particular. So I think it kind of ticks that off the list as well. You'll see as well in my inventory I've currently got some redstone lamps. The next thing I want to do once I've got these purple things in place is see about how we're going to light this up, because obviously at night time we do want it to be lit up, because that'll make it look good. So yeah, there's the purple thing. I quite like that. Let me know what you think, guys. Leave a comment and let me know what your thoughts are on that. But for now I'm going to stick with it, because yeah, that's looking pretty cool. Alrighty, so the next thing to do here is the lighting. So I figured that we'd have lights in the four corners like this. Now I don't mind wasting the clay, but I do want to go and get back any of this quartz stuff, because quartz is precious, guys. You've got to look after your quartz. I've spent so long this episode on just mining all the quartz to get it together to do this build, so I'm very cautious now of not wasting any. Let's put that up there, and we need one of these back in here. Okay, so that's the four corners done. Now what I can do actually is just kind of test this out. If I do /time set night like that, yeah, okay. It's lit up, but it's not lit up enough, is it? So 12 more lamps is all I have. So that would technically be 3 each side, or I could look to do, go and build some more and stop being lazy, basically. Just wondering how to integrate them with these purple things. I'm thinking maybe if we go like this and put them sort of either side. I know that'll be too many, and I'll have to go and make a few more, but does that look okay? I don't think that looks too bad, actually. And it kind of makes these purple things even more of a focal point. Oh, we're going to lose a quartz there. Never mind. One's not too bad. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, I think for now that's what I'm going to do. And again, if you guys have suggestions, then obviously let me know. If you think of a better way of doing this lighting, then I would be happy to hear it, as always. But for now, I think that's what we'll do. We'll whack these around here like this. And yeah, I think that'll probably work. Now what I'm going to do is, in the upcoming episodes, I'm going to develop the area around the spawn area here. So in this episode, take a look at the spawn area, and if you have any ideas on what might look good around the spawn, let me know. So what I'm thinking of doing, just so you guys have a rough idea of the kind of direction I want this to go in, is I want to do kind of like a boardwalk sort of area. So we'll leave those lights for now, and let's go back into game mode C while I explain this. So fly up here, that's how it now looks. I think that's looking pretty cool, guys. I'd really like your feedback on it, but yeah, so far I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, so I'm thinking of like a boardwalk area where we maybe have red sandstone along here, sort of going around the rim of the outside of that, and then buildings going around there, but the buildings would have sort of like an archway going up, like a walkway, and you know what, I'll just do it with this for now, and then I'll show you what I mean. So let's say it was 3 wide, if I can get that lined up. Kind of would go up like that, and the boardwalk would go in here, and maybe even we connect this up to these purple things. Now that could be cool. So these would come up, go like this, all the way around the perimeter. I hope I'm explaining this correctly, I'm not sure if I am, but basically if we connect them to the purple things, it would look something like this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back down like that. Alright, so I know I haven't really done this in the best fashion, but hopefully now you're starting to see what I mean. So all this would be like undercover, and we maybe use sandstone for that, or, again, I'm happy if you want to suggest other materials. And then underneath would be this boardwalk, and you could kind of walk around like this, go down into the square, or dart off into lots of little corridors, maybe have like a market, like a bazaar type of area, if any of you have seen those kind of Middle Eastern bazaar type things. Something like that, I'm thinking. So, yeah, if you have any thoughts on that, let me know, and we'll have a look at doing that and getting that started. Probably in the next episode, we'll have to see about that. But, yeah, I am pretty happy with how that's looking. Put myself back into survival mode so that I can take my armor off, and I'm pretty much going to leave it there, guys. So yeah, lots of suggestions, I should say, for you to potentially provide me with here from everything we've done today. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm glad that we do now have the very colourful spawn, and to be honest, the more I look at it, the more I like it. And I know that sounds a bit arrogant, I guess, because I built it, but I'm thinking this is looking pretty good, and I'm quite excited for how this town's going to take shape. So I'd love you guys to be a part of that, and if you want to, then drop me a comment. But for now, guys, that will be all. So as always, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.